Hi everyone, just wanted to take a minute to talk through the triangle angle sum theorem. These slides that I'm going through are the same ones that we went through in class. So if you missed class for whatever reason, or you wanted an additional refresher on what we talked about, you can go through these. You can go through this video and take notes along with it as well. All right, so let's look at what the triangle angle sum theorem actually is. So the triangle angle sum theorem, or the triangle sum theorem, really just states that the three angles on the inside of a triangle always will add up to 180 degrees. And you might be wondering and asking yourself, well, where does that actually come from? And that just comes from the fact here that you can even see that we kind of shaded it different colors. If you made this, if you drew a nice parallel line here, right? So we made it so that this down here, this line were parallel. Also, these should be the measures. Sorry, I'm a crazy man by notation. All right, so if I made these two lines here parallel, so really all I did was I just extended this base and I just drew a line parallel to it up here. A and A here, they're alternate interior angles, and we know when these lines are parallel, these are congruent. Similarly, we know C and C here, they're alternate interior angles, so they're congruent as well. And when we put them all together, all angles when they are on a line add up to 180 degrees. So we know that A plus B plus C, the measure of these angles, the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C is 180 degrees. So all we did in recap was we drew parallel lines, and then we said because these are alternate interior angles, these are the same. Because these are alternate interior angles, they're the same. And then because we're on a line here, we know a straight angle is 180 degrees. So these all add up to 180 degrees. These, all angles on a line will add up to 180 degrees. So that means the measure angle A plus the measure angle B plus the measure angle C is 180. Therefore, the sum of the three angles of a triangle are 180 degrees. Okay, so that's really important. That's going to be useful throughout the entire class. That's going to come up a lot. So let's talk about how we actually use this. So to actually use this, we can figure out missing triangle angles. And so we know that all three of these angles must add up to 180 degrees. So if we look at this first one, we know we have 40. And we know this angle right here, if we see the little box, it means 90. And then if I have my plus question mark, that has to all equal 180. Okay, so I can add these together. 130 plus my little question mark is 180. Subtract the 130 minus the 130. And that is going to be 50 degrees, all right? So ultimately, our question mark here, this is 50. And we were able to do that because of the triangle angle sum theorem, and we knew that they added up to 180 degrees. Let's go with this one. Similarly, let's look at this. Well, we know that all three of these have to add up to 180, so 130 plus 20 plus my question mark, 180. Okay, so I have 150 plus my question mark, 180, subtract my 150, subtract my 150, and that is 30. So that would mean this right here, that is 30 degrees. Okay. Last one, let's do one more color. All right, this one's a little bit tougher. And the reason behind that is because we have to use a couple things to figure out how to actually solve this problem. So before we can actually figure out what the question mark is, we have to figure out what this angle is. Okay, luckily, we know that angle and this angle are the same because these are vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles are congruent. So because they're congruent, they have the same measure. So that would mean this plus that is 180, right? Because this is a triangle down here. So I essentially have 35 plus 23 plus, I don't know what the angle is, but I'm gonna call it x. Why not? Plus x equals 180. Okay. So now I know that this would be 58 plus x equals 180. All right. So that would mean after I subtract the 58 that x is going to be 122. All right. So that would mean this here is 122 because that's 122. I'm going to draw my little arrow. That's 122. So now I can use the fact that this is 27 and this is 122 to figure out my question mark. So I know that 27 plus 122 plus my question mark is 180. All right. So I have 149 plus my question mark is 180. So then finally my question mark is 31 degrees. Okay. And we were able to figure that out once again because we were able to solve for x because we knew that this triangle is 180 degrees and we know that this triangle adds up to 180 degrees. Okay. All right, let's look at how else we could actually use this. So now we're going to be explicitly solving for x. All right. So same concept, except now we're explicitly solving for x as opposed to just like a question mark. So these ones are a little bit longer just because now we're going to have to simplify to a variable, but they shouldn't be too bad. All right. So again, these add up to 180. So 70 plus 60 plus 8x plus 2 equals 180. All right. So this is 130 and then 2, so 132 plus 8x equals 180. All right. So that is going to be 8x. After we subtract the 132 from both sides, we get left with 48. When I divide by 8, I get x is equal to 6. All right, and I'm just solving for x. That's all I'm looking for, so I am done. If it had told me I needed to solve for this angle, I would have to plug it back in, but it just told me to find x. All right, so let's do it over here. Now, you're probably looking at this and going, well, how come I don't have everything in the triangle? Well, pretty much you actually do, because again, these are vertical angles, and we know that vertical angles are congruent. So if this is 80, this is 80. This is 60, this is 60. So vertical angles are your friends. Remember that, because if you know one half of the vertical angle, you know the other half of the vertical angle. All right, so now we have 80 plus 60 plus 51. Oops, I forgot the plus x. That's okay. Doesn't matter which order I put it in. Equals 180. All right. So 80 plus 60, what's that? 140. And then 140 plus 51 is 191. Plus x equals 180. Now, you can already tell this is bigger. So when I subtract it, I'm going to get x is equal to a negative 11. Now, you're probably asking yourself, is it okay that I got a negative number? That seems like it's weird. We're dealing with angles. It's okay if your x is negative, all right? The problem only happens if you get an angle that's negative. Angles are not going to be negative in a triangle. You can get the x to be negative, right? Because if I plugged in x, I'd get negative 11 plus 51, which is just 40. So that's fine, right? Because that's just saying this angle is 40 degrees. So it's okay if x is negative, but it's an issue if your angle itself is negative. All right, last one. And now we're actually just going to do an example where we then have to plug in what we get for x. Okay, so last one. So again, using the triangle angle sum theorem, they add up to 180 degrees. So I get 84 plus x plus 59 plus x plus 51 equals 180. So I'm going to combine my two x's, so I get 2x. I'm going to combine everything else. So let's see. Well, how can we do this? We can either use our calculator, so that would be 84 plus 59 plus 51. That'd be 194. Alternatively, what you could have also done is added the 160, 144, and then the 50, 194. But anyway, 194 was 180. All right, when I subtract the 194, I get 2x equals negative 14. Divide by 2, I get negative 7. Right, so I just subtracted the 194, canceled that. Divided by 2, I got x equals negative 7. Now, last time we stopped and we got what x was, but this time it's telling us to find the measure of angle A. So I have to plug it back in. So A is this one, right? We just need to be careful. It says A, go for that one. So I get negative 7. So the measure of angle A, remember M, then the angle for the measure, is equal to negative 7 plus 51, which makes it 44. Okay, so A is 44 degrees. All right, and that is everything that you need to know about the triangle angle sum theorem. In recap, just remember everything adds up to 180 degrees in a triangle, and you can use things like vertical angles and straight lines to help you solve different problems as needed. And don't forget that if you see the box in the corner, it means it is 90 degrees. All right. Okay, if you have any questions, please let me know. Go complete your Google form for homework. All right, have a good day.